This is Between Hook Sets. I'm Jason Walter from In Through the Outdoors with my partner in slime, Kurt Underhill from the Fishing Crew. Well, oh, hang on, Kurt, I don't see Kurt. Oh, well, he'll be along anytime now. Welcome to Between Hook Sets. We've got a couple people watching already. Apologize for being a minute or two late, but, technical difficulties. We're getting used to the technical difficulty thing. Glad you tuned in. We've got 3 guests tonight, so we're going to have multiple studio here going with a whole bunch of microphones. So we've got the winners from the Cedar Shore tournament on Lake Francis Case from past weekend joining us. And we're also going to talk about the tournament that's coming up real soon. It's at the end of the month, 26, 27 of April. It'll be in Pierre. And is that price tag, is that a distraction to anybody? Anyway, it's the Sharpe Showdown, and that's coming up, and that's another one of those Fishing Crew tournaments with the Pierre Area Chamber of Commerce. So we're going to have a get-together, and oh, look at that. We've got a get-together now.
I don't know if you got me on audio here or not.
Well, you know what? I can hear you, so we'll go with it. Is my price tag a distraction?
No, you're good, bud.
All right. Well, I was ready for a little bit of a laugh, but really there isn't anything funny when there's nobody else looking at you. So I guess it is what it is. Let me go back to where I belong. But nonetheless,
yeah. So
I was going through my bag from the Bassmaster Classic, and I ran across that hat, and I'm like, oh, there's a price tag on it. Well, that ought to be kind of fun. I'm trying to remember who the gal was from Hee Haw that had the price tag in her hat. And I just, for the life of me, I can't remember. Her name's on the tip of my tongue, but it's not quite there. So anyway, it's another Wednesday night, and we're getting ready for another tournament coming up at the end of the month. We've got a little bit of time in between. We've got the National Walleye Tour this weekend out at Lake Erie, and that's going to be an interesting one.
Absolutely.
Because I'm hearing different ideas of how heavy the bags are going to be. You know, in the past they've had 50-pound bags. Louie, what's up? What's going on there at Brown's Hunting Lodge? Louie's new general manager of Brown's out there on Lake Oahe.
So I don't know what it's like where you're at, but the wind is blowing like no other. So kind of like this last weekend.
Really?
And we had to take the first day off, but the second day, our guests tonight really got it done. So I think we should probably jump our boys in and find out their story. And
let's do that.
So welcome, Randy and Zach. How's it going, guys?
Hello, fellas.
Doing good. How you guys doing?
Real good. Doing all right.
Mini pearls. There we go. Thank you, Lance. I appreciate that from Nebraska. I think Lance Roteman's from Nebraska, I believe. So yeah. So it was kind of a weird weekend.
Very weird weekend. We were banking on fishing Saturday, but it got canceled or whatever. So we basically thought to ourselves, well, we're going to have to pre-fish just like everybody else is going to have to, so.
Was basically a pre-fish day. It was starting over for everybody, I think.
Yeah, I mean, that's true, I guess. I mean, what people don't understand is we had heavy south wind, southeast wind, and then the day that the Saturday canceled day, the wind was supposed to be southeast, but it was all east, basically.
Yep.
And throughout the day, you like sitting in front of Cedar Shore, you watch the mud just roll in. And I guess up by the dam turned really muddy, and it kind of, completely changed. I'm assuming what you guys were fishing probably mudded up in practice, and you kind of went out on Sunday as, well, let's just practice. I'm assuming,
just wing it.
Let's wing it and see what happens.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's really all you could do. think maybe it should be canceled. And Kurt struggled with the decision because it wasn't an easy decision. As the morning progressed, what was that, Randy?
Well, it was a tough call for him, no doubt.
Yeah, it was. It was really hard. I really felt for him because nobody wants to call off a tournament, especially 2 days like that. You really don't want to do it. There's no advantage to doing it. The only advantage is to do both days. So after calling that first day, those first couple of hours on Saturday morning, I think for everybody, we kind of looked at the water. Did you guys look at the water on Saturday and go, shoot, probably could have went, probably could have done it?
In town, yeah.
In town, yes. And that was the thing.
Yeah.
From
around that first corner, it would have been.
Yep, from that first corner, from the Dude Ranch, that corner, I think trying to fish the bluffs, fish Carpenter, I think that would have been extremely tough to do. And then the day got worse and worse and worse, and it became super problematic, which really didn't matter because nobody was out fishing. There were some people fishing along shore on that east shore from town, but other than that. So we talk about the tournament, not that we want you to give secrets or anything, but there's already been some scuttlebutt and some talk about how you guys got it done. Don't give us the complete inside track, because if it's a secret, it's a secret. But, give us an idea of where you found them and how you did it.
Well, practice was pretty slow, I should say. We really didn't get into the nice fish, but I was graphing a lot of fish where we were. And after that big windstorm we had Saturday, it muddied it up where we were catching the nicer fish, the decenter fish. We weren't catching the big fish, like the fish we were graphing or anything, but they were decent, but they weren't the pre-spawns that we were looking for. And I don't know, I made a big long 2-mile pole, and it probably took, I'd say probably 2 hours. I never had a swipe. I never had nothing. I don't know where the fish went. I don't know what happened.
Zero.
And I told my uncle, I said, we need to make a move, and we need to make a move now. So we found some clean water, really clean water. And I said, we got to go deep. Got to go a lot deeper than we were. And we were running 6 foot of water at first, 6 to 8. Then we were running into 10 foot. And jumped out into about 17, 18 foot. And I went over an old waypoint on my graph, and I'll be damned, the long rod laid over.
Yep.
And it kind of broke the seal, and it was a 19 3/4 inch pre-spawn female over 3 pounds. And I said, well, we got 4 more. All we need is 4. So we grinded as hard as we could. And I went back over that same waypoint, and I popped a 19, and we popped a 19 and a half on our short rod. And I'm like, well, we need 3 more. We need 3 more fish. That's all we need. I said, we just got to keep grinding. And I went over that waypoint one more time. And by that time, the wind had went down.
Yeah, it was calm.
Yeah.
And I went over that same point, that same mark. And we had a really nice one get off. And them fish, they'd slam it, and then they'd hang on to it for about 3 seconds, and they'd come off. And whatever, I made a big, long, wide loop, come back around, and I hit that same spot again, and I had another fish hit it again, and it come off. Made another few spins around, changed some plugs up, and the wind had quit. I never graphed any fish, and I said, we got to get the hell out of here. So
we noticed other boats were thinking the same thing. They just scattered about that same time, went elsewhere. But yeah.
So I said, I got 2 spots up toward town we can try it. We were flying up river or whatever, and I said, well, I know an old honey hole. We swung in there, and I'm looking around, on the shore and around, and there's a big bald eagle standing up on the train bridge. And I lost my dad 5 years ago, and every time that I see an eagle, I think of my old man. So I'm thinking to myself, well, I think we're going to have pretty good luck today,
It's a sign.
And I'm just sitting there, and well, we never had good luck at that spot. So I made another move, and we come closer to town, and it was solid mud where we went into, and I was graphing some fish, but I couldn't get them to go. It was shallow. And I'm like, well, 15 minutes of that, that's enough of that. And geared up, got out of there, and I made the bend, and I looked down, and I got a couple spots on the rocks that I really like to pitch. And there was a few boats on it, and then I'm like, well, we ain't going to be able to go there. So then I was like, well, we'll go down to there. And we went down to a pretty decent spot, and started fishing, dropped in, and boom, I caught a 18 and a half, I think it was. We throwing jigs at this time now. So we got down there, got everything geared up, ready to go. And I got in there, I popped a 18 and a half, something like that. I didn't even measure it. I just threw it in the boxes. I knew we had to get moving. And it was probably a fish an hour where we ended. And
real close, yeah.
My graph was acting up on me, and I'd had to unplug it and plug it back in just to get it to go. And I switched some stuff up that I don't usually do, and put on some heavier stuff. And I had I casted probably 5 times into this spot that I usually don't throw at, I could say. It was out a little deeper, and I kept getting swipes at it, but I couldn't hook them, and I didn't know what the hell was going on. So I switched some stuff up, and I made another cast up in there, and I popped another 19 and a half, I think it was, a big pre-spawn over 3 pounds. And I said, all right, man, I said, we got to grind. We got to get moving here. I told my uncle, I said, we got one more fish. We get one more fish. I said, I think we're going to cash a check. And about an hour goes by, and I'm sitting there, and all of a sudden I'm sitting there, and this feather above me, my back was hurting, and I was getting wore out. And I look up in the air, and this feather's falling right on top of my head. And I'm like, what the hell's going on here, you know? And
he yelled at me. He's like, look at it. Look at that. Look at that. And I'm like,
they say if a feather falls from the sky, someone's looking down at you, you know. And I'm like, all right, you know, I was like telling myself, we just need one more fish. And about 15 minutes after that, I hooked a 21-incher 4-pounder to seal the deal. But I didn't think we had the weight we did, but them fish were healthy. I was figuring we had about 12 pounds, but
yeah, we were off.
We were off quite a bit.
Yeah, way off.
Well, yeah, you were off enough to bring home the trophy and bring home the big check with that 14.18 pounds, and then 13.6, 12.5, 11.5, 11.4 in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So it was, Kurt bringing you in, and Zach, thank you for saving me a little breath. There were 3 or 4 questions that I was going to ask you, but I didn't need to ask you anything. Did you write that down and practice all that? Because that was awesome.
No, I didn't. I thought about it today and stuff, so I just thought I'd lay it all out there for you guys. You guys asked what we were doing. I mean,
well,
I love it, and I love the story about your dad too, and the feather. Okay, we got to go to the 7/8 swim baits.
Yep.
So we when we're talking swim baits,
where are you guys getting the 7-inch swim baits? I heard Kurt say something about a big swim bait too.
Yeah,
I don't know. Kurt, I'm going to unmic your meet. Let's see if we can hear you now.
Can you hear me now?
Now we got you.
I got a phone call and said that, I heard they were using 6-inch swim baits. That came from some bass fishermen in Chamberlain, was where I got my source from that. So
okay.
And a ribbon on you is what they're doing then.
Chamberlain told me 6-inch swim bait or 8-inch swim baits.
Well, what he was throwing when it hit the water, it looked like he throwed a big old rock in there. So,
I was throwing some off the wall stuff there for a while, just trying to get something to go.
Well, after weather like that, I don't know, most people that fish kind of get the idea, but I know for a fact that we have people that don't fish that like to watch the show because they're learning about South Dakota and bass fishing and walleye fishing, etc. And so a lot of people don't know and understand with all of the whacked up weather we had. And I honestly, pressure was totally against everybody at 29.3. That's super low.
Yeah.
That makes fish go deep.
Yep.
And like you said, you were trying the shallow thing and you slid out deep and got out into that 17, 18 foot water and started catching fish. So my main concern was they went deep and they were just going to shut off and be neutral. But you were able to basically you ended up getting reaction bites on everything, I'm guessing.
Yeah.
Pretty much, yeah.
Well, that's
Randy, you how many is this, like your 10th or 11th tournament? How many have you won? You look like a seasoned veteran. Well, that's kind of the reaction I was looking for. Is this your first or second or third? How many tournaments have you won, Randy?
I think around 4 or 5.
Okay. So see, you are a seasoned veteran, Zach.
Seconds, some thirds, fours,
Okay.
quite a few.
Is this your first?
You guys are Chamberlain residents, so you're locals.
I think I fished all Cedar Shores, but about 3.
Is this your first Cedar Shore win, or have you won a Cedar Shore before, Randy?
First one.
And Zach, same thing for you?
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, and that was somebody's asking me how many people have won it multiple times. And unfortunately, I don't have the history, other than what we've done it and a few other people that I've known over the years that have won it. I don't think there's people too long a list that have won it multiple times. Can you guys recall that?
No, not a lot. No.
Yeah. So, I mean, and it's a tough tournament. I mean, we deal with weather, 2019, they canceled it because of blizzard. 2020, they canceled it because of COVID. And then we took it over in 21 because they weren't going to do it. So
we almost didn't do it.
Yeah. Austin Early called me and said, hey, they're not going to do this tournament. And I said, just pump your brakes. Let me call them. And then I went down there to meet with Craig and the crew. And all of a sudden I said, let's have a meeting. I walked in, there was totes sitting there waiting for me. And they go, it's yours. So that's kind of the story, how I inherited Cedar Shore, because I didn't want to see the tournament go anywhere because it's got a lot of history. It's a tough tournament to win. And, we deal with the adverse weather. So it's not for the easiest people to fish.
It's drawn a lot of good anglers over the years, for sure. And getting better, I believe.
Oh, absolutely. And we were kind of talking about that, but you've had the likes of Bob Prop Sr., Bob Props Jr. I know Junior's won one. You've had some big names over the years fish the thing, and it was no different than this year. I mean, last couple of years, Dewey has fished it. Austin Early is not is a force to be reckoned with down there in the right bite in the right years. I mean, there is a laundry list of not just local guys, not just South Dakota guys, but other guys from across the country that come fish that thing that are really, really good sticks. And to come out on top is an accomplishment. I will say, kind of personally, since I've been running, probably one of the better accomplishments because of the adverse weather, and like you said, you guys went pre-fishing. Everything completely changed from Friday when you're on the water till Sunday.
Yep, that was all out. We had to start over. And everybody did. It leveled the playing field, I believe.
So
it sure did.
Going into that, like when you were taking off Sunday morning, was that your thought, is like, we just got to go fish because everything we have here is just going to be garbage? From being a local, from looking at the current water, watching it on Saturday, you just kind of already knew going in that we're pretty much just going to go fishing.
Yep. It always cleans up faster in the water that's moving. And that's kind of where we tried to stay.
Were you guys scoping at all?
I was scoping for a while toward the end there until I don't know what was going on with my electronics, but
just
my
shut it off.
It was shutting off and it was reading no source, and I'm unplugging everything. I'm trying to get stuff working, and it just said no source, and I just give up on it. I had to fish. I still don't know what happened there. But I did scope a little bit, and I probably wouldn't have stayed there if my scope would have worked, because I wasn't scoping any fish. And I scoped a few, but they weren't very big. But probably a good thing it honestly didn't work, to be honest with you, because we probably would have headed out.
Right.
Yeah, I was going to ask you, maybe your dad and that eagle and that feather were interfering with something electronically there to make it just drop it, move on, and fish.
Everything went into slow motion there for a few minutes, and
it's tough though, isn't it? You get used to. I don't care. You know, I got my new eagle, and can't wait to hook that up to my boat. But if I don't have this baby, I'm lost.
Yeah,
I don't even know that I can fish. It's hard to fish without electronics once you get used to it, because you just rely on it. You're used to looking at them. You really don't need to use it. You can always fish without it, but they become a crutch.
I don't use them much.
You don't, Randy. So do you? Well, of course. See,
Randy's
now
kind of the
you know
old
the
school
system.
guy.
You've got this entire system figured out. I'm guessing, for those that don't know Lake Francis case.
I kind of know where to go. We still use them.
It's a long, skinny lake. It's 107 miles long.
Yep.
You guys could only fish about 60% or 66 miles of it. So, Randy, you're old school. I like that. Do you still have a Hilux bottle with a weight in the boat?
Yeah.
Yes.
So, but we always talk about, people say locals have the advantage. And then the other theory of locals have a disadvantage because you have spots and you fish memories. And, did you have that? Like, obviously when you're, using your day as a pre-fish day, that probably played to your advantage some and disadvantage, because like you said, I ran to one spot, nothing was there. So you're kind of fishing some memories, but at the same time, you're also probably trying some different tactics at them same areas, I'm assuming.
We did switch colors after that 2 mile pull. Went completely opposite on one stick, and it took it. It paid off right away. 10 minutes, wouldn't you say, Zach?
Probably, yeah. It was probably 10 when the wind quit, and our first fish was between 10, 15, I'd say. Somewhere in there, yeah. I'd say, yeah.
So I'm guessing you were pretty bright in the muddy water, chartreuse, white, stuff like that. When you got into that clear water, did you go with darker bait?
That's
yes.
what I did.
Yeah.
Well, guys, that is awesome. Congrats on the win. Forever, you will be a Cedar Shore champion. That's something that you can hang your hat on now. And like I said, very few guys can. It's a tough tournament to win, and it's never the same conditions.
Yep.
And you got 2 trophies out of it.
No, we did. That was the only thing that I kind of didn't like. The odds of one team winning both tournaments were slim, and when you pulled them together like that, it made one winner. And
yeah,
that's the way it goes, though.
Yeah, it is what it is.
Mother Nature pulled that one.
You couldn't
do it.
And
she's the one that dictated that.
Exactly.
So, well, we appreciate you hanging out with us. We've got one more guest that we need to get to, and it's been a blast. Zach, you did a great job telling the story. It was what a great story, great play-by-play. Randy, thanks for coming on. Congratulations to you guys. I don't suppose you're going to come up and do the Sharpe Showdown?
Well, we talked about it a little today. It's that or the MWC, and yeah, I fished that one before, and day 1 we were leading it. Day 2 we got bumped down to 9th, but I don't know. We talked about it a little bit.
Well, if we don't see you up there, good luck with the MWC. There's some sticks there that are coming to town that know how to fish. I know Seaberg's going to be there, so it's going to be an interesting tournament.
It will.
The way the weather's turning out with all this warm 75, it's supposed to be 80 now for the weekend, isn't that out there?
Yeah.
It's going
to warm the water up. That I would guess the spawn will be on if it hasn't started already with the nice weather that we've had just in the last couple of days. Has it been warm out there?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
I mean, that was the thing with that though. Them fish, like I've been down there and I know we were a week earlier, but every one of those fish I put in that box were solid.
I can't believe how big they were. Yeah,
They were. I mean,
heavy.
That fishery is healthy.
Yeah.
I mean, I looked at saugers that didn't look like saugers because they were thick, so it was great to see that in the fishery. They were solid. There was no milking going on. There was none of that. So I don't know. I think it's got a few weeks for that spawn comes on down there, and I think that fishing's going to hold tight. The MWC might fall right into the middle of that spawn because it's supposed to warm up, and then for pier weather, it's supposed to get cold again next week. So who knows what that water is going to do? I quit looking at the forecast, just what my neighbor told me last night. I got so sick of looking at the forecast last week. I have not looked. So,
got to stop looking.
Exactly.
It doesn't do you any good. I used to look at the forecast 10 days out and then every day. Well, it doesn't do you any good. You might as well look at the forecast the day before, day of, and then you'll know exactly what's happening.
Exactly.
They're usually right about the wind, though. They don't ever get that bad.
Yeah, that's usually pretty cool.
No,
they were dead on. So, hey, guys, congratulations again. Thanks for joining us, and we will see you soon.
Thank you. All right, fellas. Thank you very much.
All right, man. Well, I think I got my technical difficulties figured out here. So
okay, good.
We will bring Miranda on.
Hi, Miranda.
Hello, how's it going? Thanks for having me tonight.
Oh, we don't have her. She may have to come over.
How about now?
Can you hear me now?
Touchdown.
I had the mute button hit again.
There we go. It took a hot minute to get that one figured out.
You win this brand new graph from Eagle.
So, we got Miranda on. We decided to get her on a few weeks before the Sharpe Showdown. So, Miranda, we started the Sharpe Showdown with the Chamber last year, and you are new to the Chamber, but definitely not new to fishing. So, before we get into the tournament, let's hear a little bit about Miranda Panzer. And this girl has fished Governor's Cup for how many years now?
I honestly have no idea. It's been a while.
It's been a while. I know the favorite thing to ask her is if she told Dad where to go and he listened. Because one year they caught good fish when he listened to her. The next year they did, or the next day they didn't. So she told me Dad wouldn't listen. So.
Yeah, quite honestly, I like to say my dad pays to take me guiding for a couple days. Quality bonding time in the boat. So I've been born and raised in Pierre. I love the area. Dad's a fishing guide, so I'm very well versed in the fishing world. Really fun family activity growing up. Do it often, but not as often as I probably should nowadays. But fishing is just part of my life, and it's honestly one of the best outdoor activities. You're on a boat in the middle of the water, drinking beer. I mean, what's better than that?
Yeah, exactly. And
fishing the Sharpe Showdown.
Yeah.
And for those who don't know, her dad is a past Governor's Cup champion. He won the 36th Governor's Cup with Mike Fahey, who has since passed on. And we do an honorary thing for Mike in the 36th place every year in the Gov Cup because of it. But Mike and Dave have fished the cup for years. And then Miranda, I think Mike started fishing with Steve after they won. And then you kind of got tapped in. So It's probably been 7, 8, 9, 10 years that you've been there. And, Miranda just started with the Chamber here not that long ago. Personally, super excited because we get to, we have common interests. We know common people. Really easy to work with, and it's been so much fun to work with her on the Sharpe Showdown. Why don't you go in and tell a little bit about the Sharpe Showdown?
Yeah, so as Kurt mentioned, it's the second year for it, so we're really excited. I know last year there was a couple hiccups with water levels and boat docking, and some weigh-ins got changed to different locations. But this year we're set up, and we're really excited because we've got our permits for water movement, and we can have our weigh-ins at one location and don't have to worry about anything getting adjusted on that end. But it will be April 27th and 28th. The rules meeting is April 26th at the American in Fort Pierre, and we're looking forward to getting that rolling. We've got an awesome dinner plan for that, so all the anglers will get to enjoy some lamb chislic. and some beef chislic, homemade fries, onion rings. I'm really excited about it,
Yeah.
honestly.
I love the lamb chislic. Yeah, that's going to be fun.
And what this thing is, a couple years ago, I was driving down to the chamber and I had Cedar Shores up and running. Gov Cup was running. And I'm like, I want one more. I want one more on the river. And I'm going to go into the chamber and I'm going to ask them to sponsor an event. And as I opened the door, I changed my mind and I said, do you guys want to have your own fishing tournament and let me help you? And that's kind of how this was born. The entire crew that was there when I started this is gone.
Except one.
Yeah. Well, Danny wasn't there when I
actually,
started it.
there's kind of two. Danny was there when it came to fruition last year.
I guess Annie was there.
Yeah.
Annie was still there, but it was like brand new. I'm like, and these girls were great to work with, but they weren't the outdoorsy necessarily fishing, so they relied heavily on me on that, and we decided to do a tournament that's 100% payback. So thank you to our great sponsors in this community that are providing this. We wanted to build an event that people want to come to,
right?
And 100% payback. You get a meal at the rules meeting, and last year it was catered by TKO, which was great. The food was fantastic. Anybody that was there last year knows how great the food was. And, the idea was to feature local things and different things to the area for the people who come from out of town. And me and Miranda were on a plane to Denver to the sports show. And we met a guy sitting in the airplane next to us that is a lamb producer. And he goes, I would love to cook chislic for you guys. And crazy how everything comes together, but Cody Chambers is going to make lamb chislic, homemade French fries, and just kind of take it to that true South Dakota feel. So anybody who's watching from out of state who's never had chislic, you're going to get an opportunity if you sign up for this event.
Yes, we'd love to have you. I mean, that's chislic. Chislic is lamb. So
yeah, right.
We're really excited about that. I personally never had it before, so
oh really?
I'm going to
enjoy I haven't either. Yeah, that's why I'm excited, because I've had the beef chislic, pheasant chislic, all, I don't know, fish chislic if you can have it, but never lamb. So it'll be fun to give that a shot. And things will be a little bit different than last year too, because weren't we at the bus garage or something last year?
Yeah, we were at the River City Public Transit last year. This year, Miranda's got us at the American.
Yep.
Dan and the crew over there are welcoming this event. Beautiful establishment with the American over there. And going out of Downs Marina.
Yes.
And last year we had a full plan that fell through because the wind blew out of the north, the water levels dropped, we couldn't get boats. I am beyond excited to weigh in on the amphitheater stage.
Yeah, it's actually going to be really special. We've got plans in place. Just the production of it is going to be cool. It's going to be different. Something Pierre's never seen before, quite honestly. And I'm really excited to see it come to life. And
there's been plenty of tournaments in that park.
There has.
But never on that stage.
Right. And
the plan we had everything set up on that stage last year.
What's that?
We had everything set up on that stage last year, and because the water dropped a lot, we had to move.
Yep. Yeah. And we're going to be set up on the stage. We're going to go through kind of like you were saying that the boats are going to come in.
Making it, like I said, a good production, make it interactive with the crowd. We hope to have a nice turnout. So we love to have anyone that's not fishing come down and hang out and see what weights get put in each day. So, but it's going to be really cool. City's behind us on this. Huge thank you to all of our sponsors. Like Kurt said, we can't do it without the support of the community. And quite honestly, the support they're giving us is bringing money back into the city and just showing what a special resource Lake Sharpe is for our area.
Yeah, absolutely. And we're limiting it to 60 teams.
Yes.
There is a few spots left. I can't remember, is it $12,000 to win on 60 teams? You have the payouts in front of you if you want to go over those.
I can pull them up here, but honestly, if we get all 60 teams filled, the winners will take a $12,000 check home.
Yeah, $12,000 for first place and a $450 entry fee against 60 boats.
Yeah,
that's a pretty incredible payout.
Yeah,
and like I said, we're gonna do something they've never seen before. Walk across the stage.
you know, and it's going to be kind of like the Bassmasters are going to come from behind the stage up to the stage, unlike coming across the stage. So nobody's going to be able to see the fish prior to them hitting the stage. Unlike, you know, our normal events, they can see them as they're getting bumped. They're all going to be bumped behind the stage, come out. It's going to be a lot better. Brian, you're going to have to get your DJ on like down at the Bassmaster Classic, or, you know.
It's going to be a party in the park.
Yeah, right? It's going to be so much fun. You're going to have beer sales down there.
Yep, we've got a beer stand going, so we're really excited about that. Just a little bit fun, beer sales and soft drinks. So bring your folding chairs. Yeah,
bring your folding chairs down to Steamboat Park and watch the weigh-ins. And the fishing that time of the year, Lake Sharpe, is probably one of the best in the country. Yeah. It's a fish factory. It's not necessarily a big fish factory. I mean, there are big fish out there. Don't get me wrong. There are plenty of big fish swimming in Lake Sharpe, but it's going to, you know, it kind of can weigh like Chamberlain. It's going to be really tight. It can be really tight weights, or it can be, you know, a gangbusters, and you can pitch jigs, you can pull cranks, you can drift. There's all kinds of different things. And for those that are scared of the area, because I've got that in a lot, it's not scary, guys. We have the best electronics in the world. I've been through your guys' boats. You can land a space shuttle in your boat. You know, you've got the mapping, you've got all the electronics to do it. Just take it. Like I told the one guy, he called me up. He's never fished a tournament before. Just moved to South Dakota. He's super excited. I said, just take an extra day and take your time and go map that river. You won't struggle if you map the river.
It's fast water.
Yeah,
it's faster water than it is up above or down below. That's the easiest way to say it. You know, for me, you know, I don't fish fast water, so when I come down and fish sharp, it does throw you off your game. But then you have to just kind of remember to fish, and it's actually kind of fun. You know, fishing that current, it is different. But here again, when you're fishing current, if you're fishing with a jig, to me, it's 10 times easier. You know, you have to maintain contact with the bottom or do whatever you're doing. And it just, you're not constantly retrieving and going back out. And so I don't know. I love sharp. I like fishing sharp. I don't get to fit much, but it's a fun lake to fish. And at this point, I don't even want to take a guess because it's way too early, but I bet we'll be closer to 18 pounds unless the spawn is on.
Yeah. And that's the thing, is it's going to be, you know, a better fishing time for that lake. It's going to be so much fun to watch the people go. I did get a comment. Thank you, Shane, on my personal or text message saying Steamboat did have a tournament weighed in on that stage. Huh? It was back in the Western Walleye days, Lawrence Pro Team. When my dad was running that, they did the weigh-ins there. So thank you for correcting. It aired on the Sportsman's Channel, and L. Wine said he believed they were in the top 10.
Just throwing that out there.
Well, that must have been when John Wayne was fishing the PWT.
Well, Tom Seaberg, the world walleye champion, just wrote in there, our worst lakes to fish. That place has fish all over. You can get them any way you want.
And you know, I'm really glad that Kurt kind of popped into the chamber with the idea of having a tournament down on Lake Sharpe with the chamber, because we have Lake Oahe. Everyone knows about Lake Oahe, but Lake Sharpe needs the credit that it has for the prosperous water it is.
Well, in Lake Sharpe, you can get them all year round.
Right.
I mean, how many places in South Dakota can you boat fish in every day of the year other than Lake Sharpe? There's not many places other than Lake Sharpe that you can boat fish. And it's crazy because I think it was last year we had our 24 hours of ice at West Bend. For those who don't know, West Bend's like 36 miles away from Pierre. We were ice fishing there. My cousin from Minnesota called me and goes, "How are you ice fishing? My buddies were in Pierre yesterday boat fishing." 36 miles difference. And we were driving pickups on the ice, and they were boat fishing in Pierre. So it's such a unique reservoir. The fishing is great all times a year.
Yep.
And you can fish many different ways. And if you've never been to Pierre, If you love to hunt and fish, this is the best place in the world.
Yeah, I mean, I never left for a reason. I'm going to stay probably my whole life. And I mean, aside from the hunting, fishing, the town in itself, so welcoming. We love to have people come visit our area. It's a special place. And, you know, that's why I'm still here. Like I said, it's hard to leave.
And it's going to be, like I said, a lot of fun. Going to be an amazing event. Help us build the second year to something even bigger and better.
Yep.
There's still spots available. And come try lamb chislik. I mean,
Why
come on. You're going to if you don't even want to fish, $450 gets you homemade fresh lamb chislik grown by a local producer.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, come on.
It's an experience in itself.
Yeah. I mean, if you've ever had lamb chops, you don't even want to look at the menu when they're on there because they're so expensive. Come on. 2 people for $450 for chislik, and
all
you can go
eat.
fish. All you can eat. It's worth it right there.
Yeah, we'd love to.
I'm excited to come to Pierre in a couple of weeks. I'm heading to the river to open my place on Oahe, so I've got a taste for the river in my mouth because I was there last weekend. But it's just time now, so I'm excited to meet you in person and to hang with you for the weekend and bring that tournament. So I'm excited. Thanks for being with us tonight.
Yes, thank you for having me. Excited to meet you as well, and we'll have us a fun weekend in a couple weeks.
And
Fantastic,
for everyone
Miranda,
interested to sign up, it's sign up on the fishingcrew.com under Sharpe Showdown.
Yep.
All right, and I popped up a little reminder. Don't forget to set your Bassmaster Fantasy Fishing League because we've got another tournament starting tomorrow morning at 6 a.m.
You know, you want to know what's funny, bud? I was sleeping last night dreaming, and I woke up in the middle of the night and thought I completely forgot to put my fantasy in.
Oh, no.
I literally woke up in the middle of the night going, oh, no, I forgot to put my fantasy lineup in. I'm already terrible, and I'm going to be even worse. And then I woke up and I realized it's only Tuesday.
Yep.
I got a day. So I still got to put my list in tonight. So anybody in our fantasy league, make sure you get that in. And I hope I pick some good ones and I'm not on the bottom of the pile like I normally am.
Good luck to you.
Good luck to you, buddy. We'll see you next week.
Yep. You guys have a great night. Thank you for tuning in. We'll see you later.
Oh, yeah.